By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today we are in Düsseldorf, Germany for the Rumble Royale. And the Rumble Royale is a tournament that's held by the Rhineland Avengers. And I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun. I love Düsseldorf, it's a great city, but also this tournament, it has a special place in my heart because we're in one of the best brew houses of Düsseldorf with Lefty here present. I love it. We have great beers, great atmosphere, and we're going to see some great magic. Today we're going to look at a round one match between Dutchman Roy, who's on a Deadguy Ale on steroids deck. I mean, this is the type of deck that can win tournaments, and I wouldn't be surprised if this deck is going to do very well today. And he's taking on Dennis, and Dennis is playing mono green with that black splash, right? There's some terrors in there, Mind Twist, Demonic. You know, this again is also a very good deck. It's known to be the killer of giants because it can win against the strongest powered decks. So this is going to be, or promises to be, a very close match. Of course, I've got deck photos of both of these decks, but before I jump into the deck text though, first a message from the sponsor of this video, 3-for-1 Trading. 3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and yes, old school Magic players. They now exclusively offer my community free, fully insured and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets and out-of-print sealed products. They upload new cards every Wednesday and have weekly sale offers and reductions waiting just for you. Use my code TIMMY to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over $500 or euros. Have fun ordering those cards, and thank you 3-for-1 Trading for sponsoring this video. And we are back and ready to dive into the deck text, and I'm going to start with the player on the left, that is Roy. Let's take a look at his Deadguy Ale on steroids deck. And here we see the deck of Roy. So this is a Deadguy Ale deck, right? And these decks are quite popular. Why? Because you can play very strong black creatures like Hypnotic Spectre, Jusum Djinn. We also see Underworld Dreams in here. That's a very good card. Of course, you're going to play with Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist. So you can use the power of black, and then you can combine that with the business-like removal and control of white. So we see 4 Swords to Plowshares, 4 Disenchants, and a Balance. So this deck by itself is really good. But then, of course, what makes the deck better? Exactly, blue power. So people started to splash blue power in their Deadguy Ale decks, and then we've called it Deadguy Ale on steroids. So the steroids is the power part, right? We're seeing Ancestral Recall, Time Twister, and Time Walk. They're all in this deck. And then he's also splashed the Brain Geyser, which sometimes is a little bit more tricky to splash because of the double blue. But I think with the mana base here, that's going to work out for Roy. And he also has put in one single Psionic Blast. So that could be quite a good card actually as a finisher, right? Because this is such an aggressive deck. And I can imagine that you get really close, but you just need to make that finish. Then a Psionic Blast can be quite good. Also, Psionic Blast in general is a very good card in this format. Why? Because you've got a lot of Suchis, you've got a lot of Serra Angels, a lot of Surrender Efreets, and that 4 damage clears, kills all of those creatures. So yeah, pretty good card. Interesting to see here in the sideboard that we have a single Armageddon. A lot of people actually play an Armageddon main in these type of decks, but of course he's already playing with 4 sinkholes, so that Armageddon can come in later. Also, we see 2 flash counters, which I think is really cool. I think flash counter in a deck like this is much better than, for example, a counter spell. And it depends, of course, on what type of deck you're playing against, but then you can always board it in, for example, to deal with the white control package, the Swords to Plowshares, and the Disenchants, right? And we also see the Divine Offering in the sideboard, a great card against robots, 1 white and 1 from Legends, and when you destroy an artifact, you gain life equal to the casting cost of that artifact. So, for example, if you kill a Suchi, we're probably going to see a lot of Suchis today, you gain 4 life with that Divine Offering. Another interesting inclusion here are the 3 Ivory Towers. I think that kind of shows that, you know, there are more and more aggressive decks in the format. There are a lot of decks that we call 12-bolt decks, 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Chain Lightnings, 4 Psionic Blasts. And, you know, against those decks, you need some kind of life gain. And Roy has chosen to go for Ivory Towers. Another choice could have been, for example, the Spirit Link. That would have been an interesting choice as well. Also because they go together very well with the Jusum Djinn. But he chose to go for Ivory Tower. I wonder if he's going to board in Ivory Towers in this matchup, because he is playing against a very aggressive deck today. Talking about that, let's take a look at the deck of his opponent, Dennis. And here we see the deck of Dennis from the Flying Van crew. And I have to say, Dennis, you've got some cool altars in here, man. I like those funky Llanowar Elves. I think they're cool. I also see some borderless cards like the Sylvan Libraries, the Pendle Havens, the Scavenger Folks. Pretty cool. So yeah, this deck, this is what Mono Green loves to do, right? Be aggressive, be quick. So you want to have, a turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Then you want to have a turn 2, maybe an Elvish Archers, maybe another like 1/1 flyer like Script Sprites. Then you want to start using your Giant Growths, pump them up. Of course, use your Pendle Havens to pump them up. Then you're going to use your Berserks, and you're just going to deal a lot of damage. Like he's playing with 4 Berserks in this deck. So it's very plausible with this deck to have a Berserk situation. Let me explain what that means. Let's say you've got a 1/1 Script Sprite, flying in the air. Nothing's going wrong. It attacks. You use your Pendle Haven, you make it a 2/3, you put a Giant Growth on there. It's now a 5/6. You put a Berserk on there. It's now a 10/6 Trampler. You put another Berserk on there. The power is going to double again. You've got a 26 Trampler, and that can like kill you on the spot. Like this deck is very dangerous. Of course, the problem with a deck like this is because you're not playing with any mocks in yourself or any, power acceleration, you could run into the problem that your opponent is ramping up really quickly and going faster than you, and maybe, play out a very big creature in turn 2 or turn 3. That's always a bit of a danger with this deck because look at the list, there's hardly any removal. And that's probably why the Black Splash in this deck is usually so good. Because of the Black Splash, you can board in a card like Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist. Those cards are very good on their own. But also in the sideboard, it now grants you access to Terror. So Terror is quite good. The problem, though, is in this matchup, unfortunately for Dennis, the Terror doesn't work against black creatures, so it's not going to protect you against a dangerous Juzam Djinn, for example. So it could be tough. I think we're going to see a match here where Dennis obviously wants to be the aggressor, wants to go really, really fast, and, Roy is going to try to stabilize. The longer the game takes, the bigger the chances for Roy. And again, like I said, when I was discussing Roy's sideboard, I'm really curious to see if he's going to use those Ivory Towers after the second game. And I guess there's only one way to find out if he is going to do that. Let's go to the first match of Rumble Royale here in Germany, Düsseldorf. Game number 1 here of the Rumble Royale, the old school Magic tournament held in Düsseldorf, Germany. And this is round 1. On the left we have Roy, who's playing a Deadguy Ale deck. And it's on steroids, meaning it's got blue power as well. Very powerful deck. And then we've got Dennis, who's playing a very strong deck as well. Mono green. And this deck is very good against very strong decks. It's kind of made for the deck matchup, you could say. And the Mono green is taking out some very strong decks. So this is going to be a very interesting match between these two players. We see Roy here taking a second turn, finding a Mox Jet and a Flower Stone. So really ramping up, passing the turn. And now I wonder what Dennis is going to do. Is he going to use his Scavenger Folk to take care of the Mox Jet, or is he going to attack for 1? He is going to attack for 1. He really just wants to deal as much damage as possible. There we see a Sylvan Library here by Dennis.
Take 1 damage.
And we're going to see some action on end step by Roy, tapping his City of Brass. Okay, there we see an Ancestral Recall.
No, for me.
So he's going to draw 3 cards. Yeah, and here we already see that power working for Roy with the Mox Jet and now the Ancestral Recall. And he's got 4 mana, right? So I wonder if he's going to play a Juzam Djinn. He's playing a full playset of Juzams in his deck. Also plays with Hypnotic Spectres and Sengir Vampires. Here we see a second City of Brass by Roy. And okay, there's a Black Lotus. So he's got a lot of mana. The question is, what is he going to do with it? Oh, ow, ow, ow. This is painful for Dennis. We see a Mind Twist. He's going to lose a Llanowar Elf, Scavenger Folk, Bayou, and a Giant Grove, and another Sylvan. I mean, at least he still has that 1 Sylvan. Or not. Wow, this is brutal. The Disenchant. That is brutal. Roy did take 2 damage for the Disenchant. Had to tap both of his cities, so he's on 16. I wonder if Dennis is now just going to swing in for 3, right? Exactly, he's going to swing in for 3. Going to put Roy on 13. Finding a Strip Mine. I mean, he could strip the Swamp, right? Kind of forcing Roy to use those City of Brasses. Decides not to. Here we see a Mox Pearl. And I wonder what Roy is going to do. I mean, he needs a creature here. Does he have one? Okay, he's going to go for a Sinkhole. So he only has answers, but no creatures, it seems. Going to pass the turn. Problem, of course, is that Dennis only has that lonely scavenger folk left. I mean, he can attack for 1, exactly, going to put him on 12. 1 card in hand, passing the turn. I would love to know what that 1 card is. Dennis Roy is having 3 cards in hand, by the way. Ooh, he's going to tap 4, or no, 5. Are we going to see a Sengir Vampire here? He's on 11 now. Yep, there's the Sengir. 4/4 flying creature. And when it kills a creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter. If it doesn't die, of course. And now we get an interesting situation. Is Dennis going to attack? Perhaps fake a Giant Growth? Or maybe he has one, of course. Or is he going to wait? Is he going to say, you know what, Roy, you do your thing? Because if you attack with the Sengir, you're going to have to tap it anyway, and then I can attack again with my Scavenger Folk. He is going to attack for 4. So I guess he's going to put Dennis here on 16. Perhaps Dennis is thinking about playing a Berserk, because you can, of course, also play a Berserk on your opponent's creature. That does mean you take 8 damage instead of 4. Nope, he's just going to take the damage. Going to go to 16. Going to tap a green. Oh, he is going to play a Berserk. So he's going to do it after damage is dealt, and it's still in the combat step. So that's interesting. That's something I haven't seen before. Wonder if it works that way. I mean, it seems to make sense. I mean, combat under modern rules is divided in several steps. So maybe you could do it. I guess both players are now going to find out if this is legit or not. Yeah, and he does have to take the extra damage, exactly. I already had my doubts. So he is going to go to 12. And now Roy is taking his second main, going to drop to 10. Okay, there we see an Underworld Dreams. Enchantment from Legends. And whenever your opponent draws a card, he or she takes a damage. Here's a damage for Dennis, going to drop to 11. There's another Forest. Yeah, there's the attack for 1. But Roy's on 9, which is still pretty high, and Dennis only has a single Scavenger Folk. There's another pass. Another draw, another damage. Going to drop to 10. Let's see what the German player can do. 2 cards in hand at the moment. Going to attack again with the Scavenger Folk. Roy dropping here to 8. Finding more answers. There's a Chaos Orb. I wonder if Roy wants to use this Chaos Orb or not. I mean, he's already on 8. Could, of course, also decide to just wait. Because when Dennis attacks, he can use it. Or in response, he can use it. And then within response, I mean in response to, for example, a Giant Growth or a Berserk on the Scavenger Folk, because you don't want to take more damage. Untap, upkeep, and draw here for the German player. Going to drop to 9, of course, from the Dreams. What are we going to see? Okay, oh, Pendelhaven. That makes the Scavenger Folk a little bit better. It's going to attack, and then Roy is going to activate. Of course, you don't want to activate before that, because then Dennis can respond by sacking the Scavenger Folk. Although, that's fine. Oh, he's missing here. Oh, Roy missing here. Giving Dennis the chance to keep dealing damage. And it's going to go twice as hard because of the Pendelhaven. So Roy is now on 6. I mean, this is quite a close match. And it looks like Roy is just not finding any creatures. We haven't seen a single... Well, we've seen the Sengir Vampire, so it's not completely true. But yeah, this is a problem for Roy. Also, if later in the game he draws a Juice Engine, it can actually kill him. But first he needs at least a blocker here for the Scavenger Folk. Look at this, he's going to take more damage. I wonder what he's got in hand. Just lands, perhaps? Disenchants, maybe? There we see another Scavenger Folk. It's not looking good for Roy. What does he have in hand there? Lands and Disenchants, I think. Because, I mean, if you have a single, you would have played it by now on the Pendelhaven. Passing their turn. He's on 4. Is he going to go down to 1? That's the big question. I mean, after the Mind Twist, I thought Dennis was toast, but look at this. There's the attack. Gonna pump it up. 3 points of damage for the Dutch player. Or not. Okay, there we see the Swords to Plowshares. Of course, in response to the Pendelhaven. So he's gonna gain a life, I believe. Okay, 2 life, I guess. Gonna go to 9. Scavenger is removed from the game. Could be relevant because Dennis is playing with the regrowths. I mean, I don't think he's gonna regrowth the Scavenger, but still. Roy on 3 now. Untap, upkeep, and draw for Dennis. Gonna take another damage, drop to 8. Not sure why he's going to 6. He's gonna animate into the red zone. Is he gonna win this game? He's gonna deal 5 damage. Oh, there's a disenchant. Okay, so he's gonna go to 1. Oh, what's this? This is the Berserk. He's gonna win it here. Dennis winning game number 1. And I have to say, that's pretty unexpected. Because the start of Roy was very strong, but he just didn't draw into any creature threats. And of course, you know, against mono green, I mean, Dennis is just gonna keep attacking. And that Scavenger Folk did so much work and actually won the game here for Dennis. Congratulations, game 1 in the pocket. But of course, this is a best of 3, so both players are gonna dive into their sideboards. And we will catch back up with them in game number 2. Game number 2 here is about to begin. So it's 1 game up for the German player, Flying Dennis, with his mono green army. And that was quite unexpected. I really thought that Roy had the game after that Mind Twist, but couldn't find anything and lost that game. So now it's Roy on the play. Look at this, Dennis taking a mulligan. A double mulligan even, starting with just 5 cards. That is rough, especially when you're playing mono green. Doesn't have a lot of card draw, has some Sylvans, but that's it. Doesn't have, for example, a Time Twister or an Ancestral Recall. And here we see Roy starting with a card that came in from the sideboard, Ivory Tower. So I was already wondering if he would board those in after the first game. I guess the answer is yes. And there we see a Pendelhaven into a Llanowar Elves. Passing back to Roy. Roy gaining a single life there from the tower. It's going to go up to 7 cards in hand. Back to 6. Or I guess, sorry, from 5 cards up to 6. Now he's back to 5 cards in hand, of course, because he was on the play. Does he have a Sinkhole here? Tapping 2 black. Yep, there's the Sinkhole. And I mean, this makes sense. You have to destroy the Pendelhaven. It's just too good in the deck of Dennis. Get pumped at Llanowar, and then you take 2 a turn. Here we see a City of Brass. Going to tap the city, tap the Llanowar. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this card. Elfish Archer, 2/1 first strike. Beautiful art by Ansomatics. And this card is pretty cool with Giant Growth, right? Because of that first strike ability. Really sweet. And this is also the card that I've always wondered, why can it not block creatures with flying? Because it's got the bow. Right? So it should have reach, you know, what we call it now. The mechanic that only the Giant Spider had, of course, in that first core set alpha. But let's see what Roy can do. And the question for him now is, do I want to play out a card and not gain life from the tower? Or do I want to keep cards in hand but take damage from the Archer and the Llanowar Elves? Those are the decisions that he has to make. And he's already a game down. And remember, Dennis is playing with 4 Berserks. I mean, against mono green, you can die out of nowhere. Here we see a Mox Pearl. There we see a Time Walk. Okay, I mean, that's not a big deal. Cycling away here the Time Walk. And it makes sense for Roy as well, because it gives him the option to just have another look at the top of his deck. The question is he going to drop another land? Oh, this is great. Ancestral Recall. This is so good for Roy, because this will activate the tower again. Yeah, this is great. Passing the turn. I feel like it's bad luck for Dennis that again Roy finds the Ancestral Recall. Also found it in the first game. Dennis attacking here just with the Archers. Gonna attack for 2. So Roy dropping to 19. Gonna tap a Llanowar Elves. There's another Llanowar Elves. Gonna tap the City of Brass. Drop to 18. Another Llanowar Elves. Very colorful elves. Just like the nails here of Dennis. And there's the pass. Roy gonna go up to 21. Now let's see what he can do. Does he have a land in hand? That could be a starting point. Land, Juzam Jin. I'm still waiting for those Juzams. I mean, you could even consider boarding your Juzems out because, of course, they hurt yourself. And against a deck like Mono Green, you can go very low very quickly. Then again, it's also a great answer to every threat of Dennis. Yeah, Roy really in the tank here. Realizing how quickly he can die to these green forces. I mean, there's 5 damage on the board on Dennis's side. 3 Llanowar Elves and the Elvish Archers. If they all attack and Roy doesn't have a blocker, Dennis can deal 5. And that's more damage than life that Roy gains. He's on 21 now, by the way. So it has to make that difficult decision. Okay, it's going to play something out. Going to tap 3. Are we going to see Hypnotic Spectre? Oh, there's a Mind Twist again. It's going to lose Gaia's Avenger. That's so cool. And of course, the Tranquility here. Both cards coming in from the sideboard. I believe Tranquility against probably the Underworld Dreams. And the Gaia's Avenger works really well against the Moxen and the other artifacts here of Roy. Very cool card, but we're not going to see it in action. Here we see a Swamp for Dennis and a pass after the attack. So Roy is on 16, gaining a life. 2 in total from the tower. So I guess he's got 6 in hand. 7 after the draw. And of course the Mind Twist is nice for Roy. But, you know, he's still looking at that army. Okay, there we see a Mishra's Factory. So that's good. Then he's got a blocker. Now do remember, when the factory has Summoning Sickness, it cannot pump itself. So it's still a 2-2, so cannot block the Elvish Archer. Look at this, attacking with everything. Dennis putting everything into the red zone. Now, is this a bluff or not? That's the question for Roy. Is Dennis bluffing? He is going to animate. Probably going to block one of the Llanowars. Exactly, going to take the one in the middle. Tapping the city. Are we going to see a Giant Grove? Or are we going to see... Yes, we're going to see a Giant Grove. 4-4. Taking care of the factory. 4 damage now for Roy. Dropped to 14, but more importantly, he lost a land and a blocker here. I believe he forgot to take a life here. He was very eager to draw that card, but he's forgetting to take his life. Yeah, reminding himself now, so he's going to go 2 points up here. It's going to go to 16, so I guess that was 6 in hand and then 7 after the draw. Gonna tap 3. Are we going to see that Hypnotic Spectre? Hypnotic Spectre hitting the board. 2-2 flyer. Iconic card, of course, in Magic. And this is where we can see the value of First Strike for Dennis. Because the Elvish Archer still has a good attacker at this board state. Dennis thinking about, okay, just attacking here with the Archer, it seems. Does he want to bluff again? I guess not. Well, he wasn't bluffing last time, by the way. But does he want to try that again? I guess not. So the 3 Llanowar Elves remain untapped. And then there's an Elves of Deep Shadow. Another 1-1 creature. I mean, Dennis really needs a Pendelhaven here. That would be brilliant for him. And Roy just needs more creatures, more blockers. The Swords also would be quite nice for Roy. Does have another Ivory Tower in hand. That's also quite good. That other tower can really help him. Because then he's going to gain double the amount of life. There's the other tower. And how many cards does he have in hand now? I believe 6, right? So then he gains 4 life next turn. Okay, he's going to take a damage. Going to drop to 15. Ooh, this is a good one. Sylvan Library. There's the attack. Just with the Archer. It's going to take 2. Drop to 14. Yeah, and I think Dennis is saying this. I should have attacked first. Pretending to have something in hand before playing out the Sylvan. And then play out the Sylvan in your second main. That would have been better. Oh, Library of Alexandria. Oh, this is going to be a problem for Dennis. Dennis needs to hurry up here. Needs to put so much pressure on Roy that he is forced to play cards out of his hand. If he doesn't, he's going to walk away with this game. Library of Alexandria and double Ivory Tower on the board for Roy. This is a big problem for Dennis. Dennis does have a crumble there. I mean, I would maybe just draw everything. Who cares? Then again, I mean, you're looking at the hippie, of course, if you have too many cards in hand. I think there's also a black card there. Wonder what it is. So you're going to take an extra card. It's going to take 1 extra card. So going to draw 2 cards. I'm sure the crumble is one of them. Okay, there we see the factory. Now he's attacking. Okay, not attacking with the 1/1s though. I think I would also attack with the 1/1s, to be honest. I mean, who cares? You lose a 1/1. Okay, he's going to tap the Llanowar Elves. There's the Crumble.
Then I get life, huh?
So he's going to play the Crumble on the Ivory Tower. Does mean one more life for Roy. And now Roy, of course, gains life from his other Ivory Tower. So he's now on 21. Is this card number 7 for Roy? I mean, we'll know soon enough. Exactly, it is card number 7. Oh, this is such a problem for Dennis. This is going to be almost impossible for Dennis here. Because now Roy is drawing an extra card a turn. He's gaining more life from the tower. I think the only thing that Dennis can do is just try to put as much pressure on the life total of Roy, but it's going to be really tough here in this situation. Roy on 21. And I mean, if you're Roy, now I have to think about, okay, do I actually want to play something out? I mean, you want to play one card out at least. There's the Disenchant on the Sylvan. Yeah, this is very bad for Dennis. Also because that third card they did put back is, of course, a card that's probably not helpful. That's why he put it there. So yeah, really bad situation here for the German player. One card left in hand. I mean, I think I would just animate and attack with everything. I mean, obviously it depends on the card that he's got in hand. But if the card's like crap, I would just attack with everything. I mean, you can only block one thing with the Hippie. Okay, and then maybe your Llanowar dies or your Elves of Deep Shadow, but who cares? He's not doing it though, just attacking with the 2. And Roy, you're taking 4 points of damage, dropping to 17. And then we see a Script Sprite. So a 1/1 Script Sprite. Lots of glare on the card, but we know it's the 1/1 flyer. And again, life gained for Roy, going up to 20. 8 cards now in hand after the draw. Let's see what he's going to do. Oh, there's a Maze. Yeah, this is great for Roy. Maze of If. Land from the dark, and you can take target creature out of combat. It neither deals nor receives damage. So it's great against the creatures of Dennis. There we see a forest, finally. Yeah, I mean, you can still attack with 2. There's the attack. Now Roy drawing card 8. Gonna tap 2. Are we gonna see Disenchant? Disenchant. Yeah, and then sending back the Elvish Archer. Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, Roy's got this game in the bag, right? I mean, Dennis needs a miracle. He needs a balance, but there's no green balance or black balance. I guess a Mind Twist could work. Twisting the hand of Roy, that's something. The problem, though, for Dennis is that every single turn that he cannot find that Mind Twist, Roy is drawing more cards and gaining more life. He's already on 23. And there will be a moment, of course, in the game where Roy will put more pressure on. Exactly, I guess the moment is now. There's the Sengir Vampire 4/4 flyer. And now Dennis looking at the top card. I wonder what it is. I mean, if it's a Giant Growth, that would be something, you know. You could just attack with everything. Or you could say, I'm going to pass and use the growth on the sprites. Okay, it's another elf. So another 1/1. And this is great for Roy. Look at his life total. He's on 25. This is perfect here for the Dutch player. It looks like it's going to be a 1/1 here in the second game. The good news, of course, for Dennis is that he will then start. And remember, he started with 5 cards. He was on the draw. So in the final game, if he just draws into a good hand and he's on the play, that can be a big problem for Roy. But of course, Roy first has to finish this game, attacking here with the Sengir Vampire. There's the chump. Okay, so we're going to see a counter on the Sengir. Oh, I love it. You don't see that often. So the Sengir is now a 5-5. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, about this block by Dennis. Because you're on 11. I mean, you can take a hit, go to 7. So you really don't want to make this creature a 5-5. Because what if you top deck a Giant Grove now? Then you can no longer make the exchange Crypt Sprites Grove for Sengir. And okay, there's another Sprites. Okay, I guess he can chump again. He can prolong the inevitable. He can stay alive a little bit longer. But look at this, all that life gain. Wow. 28 life for Roy and an active Library of Alexandria. This is the dream, of course, for the Dutch player. Attacking with both now. Again, blocking with the Sprites. Going to take 2 damage from the Hypnotic Spectre. Drop to 9. Are we finally going to see a Juzam Jin? I hope so. Juzam Jin! I love it. Such an iconic creature. Such a cool creature. 5-5 from Arabian Nights for just 4 mana. It does deal 1 damage to you during your upkeep, but who cares? It's a 5-5 for 4. It's amazing. And the art is stunning. Attacking with everything. Alpha Strike for Dennis. And I love it, Dennis. I think this is the way to go. You're playing green aggro, you know. At least just attack with everything. Who cares? It's going to eat up the elf. And I mean, he knows he's going to lose the second game, but it's going to be all about the third game, of course. First, we're going to see Roy jumping through the hoops, gaining some life. Then attacking. So second game here won by Roy, the Dutch player. And now it's going to be interesting, right? Both players are going to shuffle up, perhaps make some changes in their sideboards. And then we will catch back up with them in game number 3. Game number 3, the big decider with Dennis here on the play. He's sitting on the right. He's playing a mono green aggro with a black splash, I have to say. So that's why you're seeing some black mana in his deck and some City of Brasses. And Roy playing Deadguy Ale on steroids. 1-1 between these players at the first round of the Rumble Royale in Düsseldorf, Germany. There we see a Mox Pro on the land into Felverstone. Pretty good start here for Roy. Let's see what Dennis can do in his second turn. There's a land and an animate attacking for 2, putting Roy on 18. Passing the turn back to the Dutchman. What does he have? Oh, and look at this. Are we already at the 5 final turns? So remember, we are playing at a tournament, meaning the rounds are timed. You've got about 50 minutes per round, so I guess the time is up for Roy and Dennis. Oh, Juzam Jin turn 2. That's awesome for Roy, but the problem here is that they're on their 5 final turns. So that means the 5 turns are starting now. You see the die in the middle indicating the amount of turns left. Okay, this is an altar. What card is this? Could it be a maze? If it's a maze, it will be ideal for Dennis. Passing the turn here. So Roy taking a damage from his Juzam. You can see that die now changing 4 more turns to go. Gonna tap 4 again. Another Juzam. But the problem here is it a maze? It is a maze. Oh, that is a problem for Roy. Good news for Dennis, but a big problem for Roy. Oh, I guess we're gonna have a draw here. Another maze hitting the board. Yeah, this is going nowhere because this is the last turn for Roy. There we do see a strip mine, so he's able to at least deal some points of damage, but it's not going to be enough, far from it. Dennis on 15. Gonna tap 3, there's a hippie. So this is a great start for Roy. I mean, his deck is doing what he wants to do. Without the last 5 turns, he would have won for sure, but it is what it is in tournament magic. You always got to watch the clock, and that second game took a long time. Final turn of the game is for Dennis here. And it's going to be a draw. So a draw between these 2 players. And this is a bit anticlimactic. I think that's the word. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, this happens. Tournament magic. You only have 50 minutes. You got to finish the game within that time frame. So this is a draw. And the next time I will be back with more action from Rumble Royale. Then we're going to look at these 2 decks going mano a mano, face to face. And if you want to make sure you don't miss that, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, because then you will be notified whenever I put a new video on the channel. Talking about that, please also take a moment to leave a like, share it on your socials, and leave a comment. All these things are completely free and really help the channel move forward. Talking about moving forward, you can also become a patron of the show. Check out patreon.com/TimmyTalks for all the information.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. She rises early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Way up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scows in the hood, my son. Put him in the scows in the hood, my son. Put him in the scows in the hood, my son.
Ficketus, ficketus, somber kazee.